This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button for all immigration news as it happens. Today we've got some breaking immigration news which is fairly positive for a change. Asylum seekers may be allowed to work whilst their claims are pending. Well, if asylum seekers are allowed to work while their claims are pending, surely now is the time for an amnesty, given that the reason for allowing asylum seekers to work is to make up the job shortage that's in the United Kingdom. So, if you are an asylum seeker and you want to know more, please get in touch with me. This is fantastic news for those waiting for their asylum claims to be determined, especially given that the asylum system is broken, as Priti Patel admits. The wording for this comes from Dominic Raab, the Justice Secretary, who said he would be open-minded to allowing asylum seekers to work to help tackle the UK's labour shortage. We've all seen that: empty supermarket shelves, lack of petrol, etc. This begs the question, if allowing asylum seekers who've just arrived to make up the labour market shortage, why not implement an amnesty so that the million or so other people that are in the United Kingdom without documentation but who are fairly well integrated can work legally and fulfil the shortage of labour that the UK is currently experiencing? The question I ask myself, is this a softening of the hostile environment? Has Brexit, has the hostile environment, have the various changes forced the government into a corner where they're going to have to seriously consider an amnesty? I hope so. We will have to wait and see though. But it is certainly a positive step, especially if asylum seekers themselves are going to be given the right to work. To allow asylum seekers the right to work would be a major departure for this government. The former Foreign Secretary said that such a move would allow people waiting for their claims to be processed to allow them to integrate and make a positive contribution to the United Kingdom. Something obviously an amnesty would also achieve, and achieve it much quicker. In my view, this raises the prospect of the government looking again at an amnesty, a targeted amnesty, again to allow people to make up the labour market shortage in the UK, to remove the need for exploitative labour and to allow families to live in some sort of security. Mr. Raab is well qualified to talk on this matter. He is the child of a refugee. His Jewish father fled Czechoslovakia, and he stated, "I would be open-minded about it," he told the Spectator magazine. He goes on further to say, what you want to try and do is turn the debate around. I would pause to say this is something that I've been trying to do for a while, because the big challenge with migration over the last 20 or 30 years, which probably wasn't true when my father arrived, as he said, is the sense that we don't integrate people well enough. Well, of course, we don't integrate people well enough if we marginalise them and subject them to the hostile environment. But Mr. Raab went on, he said, if they learn the language and they can work, they integrate much better and they make a positive contribution. Well, that's something that I've been saying in respect of having a generalised amnesty for a considerable period of time. Apparently, this already happens with asylum seekers in Denmark, and it doesn't appear from any of the news that I've seen that Denmark is a country that is falling apart. The big question is, and it really is a big question, is if the government is going to permit asylum seekers who arrive the right to work whilst their claims are being processed, and God knows how many years they'll take to be processed given the delays that are currently occurring, why not make up the labour shortage in the United Kingdom by granting a targeted amnesty and allowing the people that have been here for a considerable period of time, do speak the language, and have some job skills to actually contribute to the United Kingdom society? The way of doing this, of course, is by way of a targeted amnesty. The government has done it before in 2006 to 2011, and the world did not fall apart, and nor was the United Kingdom flooded with immigrants afterwards. So, excellent news, potentially excellent news for asylum seekers, and potentially excellent news for those people hoping and waiting, as I do, for some sort of humane gesture in the form of an amnesty for migrants generally. Thank you very much for watching this fairly positive broadcast. I hope to bring you more news as it happens, and will keep you updated. Thank you again. Please subscribe. Please stay safe in these dangerous times during the pandemic, and I hope you and all your family are well. Thank you once more. This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers.